All right, welcome, fellow kitchen explorers. Guess what? Today, our kitchen isn't just a kitchen, it's a science lab. We're going to go on a mission to uncover all the secret changes happening right under our noses, from the freezer all the way to the stove. So get those explorer hats on. Okay, so let's kick things off with a little puzzle. Think about it, a melting ice cube and a baking cookie. They're both, well, changing, right? But here's the real question. Is it the same kind of change? Is this the same type of kitchen magic at play? Let's find out. First up on our expedition, we're going to look into changes that seem, pretty dramatic. But here's the secret. You can actually undo them. Welcome to the world of reversible magic, or as scientists call them, physical changes. Okay, our first experiment is called the case of the vanishing ice cube. And don't worry, it's super simple. All you got to do is grab some ice, pop it in a glass, and just let it sit for a few minutes. Now, let's put on our observation goggles and see what happens. And look at that! The solid ice cubes have turned into liquid water. I mean, it looks totally different, right? But here's the big question for our investigation. Did we make something new, or is it still the same stuff, just in a different outfit? So this is what we call a classic physical change. See, the water is still water. It's just changed its form or its state from a solid to a liquid. The cool part is, we could totally pop this glass back in the freezer and get our ice cubes back. Why? Because no new substance was actually created. All right, for our next trick, we're going to make something disappear. Just take a glass of water, add a spoonful of salt, and give it a really good stir. Watch closely. It looks like the salt just vanished. But did it? Is it really gone forever? This really gets the idea across, doesn't it? Think about tearing paper or stretching a rubber band. When you tear paper, yeah, the shape and size change, but it's still paper, right? And when you stretch a rubber band, it changes shape for a bit, but it's still a rubber band. In both cases, you're not making anything new. So here's the main takeaway for physical changes. The big clue is that you always end up with the exact same stuff you started with, no new substance is ever created. Its properties are the same. It's really just a change in shape, size, or state. That's it. Okay, now let's switch gears and explore a totally different kind of kitchen magic. We're about to dive into the world of permanent transformations. These are changes that create something brand new. And once they happen, there's usually no going back. Hold on, before we go any further, we have to talk about the most important rule for any explorer. And what's that? Safety first. Yeah, some of these next experiments involve heat, so we gotta be super, super careful. This right here is our explorer's safety code. It's simple, but so important. Rule 1, always, and I mean always, have an adult with you for any experiment that uses heat. Rule 2, wear protective gear, like safety goggles. And Rule 3, make sure you're working in a safe, clear area. These are absolutely non-negotiable. All right, with an adult right by your side, it's time to investigate the mystery of the burning paper. We're going to very carefully burn a small piece of paper and just watch what's left behind. What do you think is going to happen? Wow, look at that. The paper turns into ash and smoke. You see that light? You feel that heat? Those are huge clues that something totally new is being made. The paper is gone, and in its place, we have this ash. And you definitely can't turn that back into paper. And that, my friends, is a chemical change. It's a permanent change where a brand new substance gets formed with totally new properties. The ash is completely different from the paper. It's like a one-way street. It's pretty much irreversible. And you know what's so cool? You've been saying chemical changes your whole life, probably without even realizing it. Think about it. Milk turning into curds, cooking an egg, baking a loaf of bread, or even frying up from potatoes. Those are all chemical changes happening right in your kitchen. So let's put these two side by side to really see the difference. For a physical change, the big question is there a new substance? The answer is no. Is it reversible? Usually yes. And the properties? They stay the same. But for a chemical change, new substance? Absolutely, yes. Reversible? Nope. Usually permanent. And the properties change completely. This chart is basically your secret weapon for telling them apart. All right, explorers, let's head outside for a little expedition. We're going to investigate a chemical change that's slow, it's quiet, but it's super powerful. And I guarantee you've seen it before, especially on old playground gates or fences. I'm talking about rust, that reddish-brown stuff. It's not just dirt. It's actually a brand new substance. See, rusting is a chemical change where iron reacts with oxygen in the air and water to form something new called iron oxide. It's like a tiny chemical reaction happening right on the metal. Think about the life of a playground gate. In year 1, it's brand new, shiny, and strong. But maybe by year 3, after a lot of rainy days, you start to see these little reddish-brown specks. That's the rust starting. Fast forward to year 5, and those specks have grown into big patches, and the gate is getting weak and flaky. That's the chemical change in action.
So, can we do anything about it? Of course, we can become iron protectors. The trick is to keep the iron away from air and water. How do we do that? Well, we can paint it to create a barrier. We can apply oil or grease to keep the moisture out, or we can even coat it with another metal. But the #1 rule, just try to keep iron dry.
Okay, for our grand finale, it's back to the lab. This time, we're going to use what we learned about physical changes to do something really, really cool. We're going to grow our own crystal treasure.
So here's how you can grow your own salt crystals. First, you dissolve as much salt as you possibly can in some hot water. This is called a saturated solution. Then, you just pour that solution into a clean jar and let it cool down really slowly, without disturbing it. After a few days, you'll see these amazing pure salt crystals start to form. It's incredible to watch.
And believe it or not, this is more than just a cool experiment. This process, crystallization, is used everywhere. It's how they purify the salt you eat, make those big sugar crystals for candy, and even produce super pure chemicals and important medicines in labs. It's a huge deal.
So now that you're an official kitchen explorer, I have a challenge for you. What other physical and chemical changes can you find happening in your home today? The biggest takeaway is that science is everywhere. Your kitchen, your backyard, they're filled with amazing changes just waiting to be discovered. So keep those eyes open and never stop exploring.